Chelsea fans, there's a lot of videos out there that are pretty similar right now, and if you look at social media, the content is pretty similar as well. Make no bones about it, Chelsea's performances have been poor so far this season, and in this video, I'm going to give you what I believe is the truth about why we're not quite clicking at the moment, and there's a whole host of reasons, whether you believe it's down to the manager, down to the players, down to the formation, the injuries that are hampering us and the limited options that we've got, or if it's just a complete collective of everything rather than single one area out. That's what this particular video is about. It's the truth about why we're not functioning right now. There's a whole host of reasons as to why. I'm going to break it down in this particular video, so hopefully you're going to enjoy it. As I say, there's plenty, so make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video. But let's just start with the fact that we can't ignore where we are in the Premier League. We can't ignore the fact we've got 5 points from 5 games. I mean, Man United are getting so much grief right now because of their start to the season. They've got 1 more point than us. That's how bad it is at the moment. But I still personally believe that Chelsea is a long-term project. This season is a long-term project to try and get us to some sort of European qualification, which will be great, an improvement on last year, to then build on it next season. This is a year of transition with a whole new, pretty much new squad and new manager. Everything needs time. But let's get into it, starting with the patterns of play that we've got. But one major area that I kept talking about in the game yesterday was when we do break from defence into attack and we get in behind the opposition midfield and we're driving forward, there's far too many touches. Let's just hold on to the ball and drive till we get to the edge of the penalty box, and then it all falls down. Because what happens is the defence just back off, and they sit on the edge of their penalty box with our players in attacking areas nowhere to go. So as we're coming forward from midfield, these players can't make runs in behind because they're going to get caught offside, or they make the runs and are being ignored. And that was a major thing that I picked up on the game yesterday numerous times. I think the only time that we played the ball early was when Chukwu picked up the ball in the second half, looked up, took 1 or 2 touches, looked up and played in Jackson down the left-hand side, who got his body in front of the defender, but then shanked his shot. Left foot just went about 20 yards wide. That was one of the only times that I can recall that we gave the ball early, either to a direct run in between defenders or we released the ball wide. Now, for Chelsea, and for what I always believe is that Chelsea are at their very, very best when they move the ball quickly and they move it wide and they begin to stretch the play. Because what happens then is you force your defence up against you to make a decision. They can be all squeezed and tight and compact and play no wider than the width of a penalty area and force you outside. But when you do go outside, someone's then got to go and connect and shut down that man. And when they do that, they leave their position, and that's where doubt creeps in and people sort of begin to intentionally or subconsciously move into the areas where the person's just left. It stretches their back 4 or their back 5 and creates a little bit of space. Now, that's what I think Chelsea are at their best at, by playing the ball quickly and moving it quickly wide. And it's just something that we need to keep doing. What we did yesterday is move the ball wide, but far too late. We'd get up to the edge of their penalty box and we move it wide and then have to play like a 1-2, try and get into the byline. But when we got into the byline, the final ball was lacking, or the amount of defenders that went towards that near post has closed the ball down. And we never really got any joy, apart from one deflected effort or that come across to Sterling, and he had a man in front of him and he tried to have a shot and it was blocked point blank. But apart from that, I don't recall Chelsea really opening Bournemouth up as such and getting in behind. Now, that's a big thing for me, is one of the main areas is when you release it and, you know, from defence and you're going into attack, release it wide early, open the play up, stretch the pitch, and that's what's going to create space for our players to run into, and that'll give you an option for a final ball. We released the ball far too late yesterday, and time again, we waited and waited, played it wide. By that time, the Bournemouth defenders had got themselves in their defensive shape. And what do? We go wide, we go back, we go inside, we go back wide, we go back. It's just too slow, too laboured, and gives the opposition so much time to get themselves behind the ball. Another sort of area that I want to look into as well is the fact that I've already sort of mentioned it, but we always wanted to get to the byline. We never crossed the ball in early, really. It was always, let's get to the byline first and then cross it. And not only that, but then the players in the box need to be much more proactive and better with their runs. The match of the day highlighted an area where Raheem Sterling got to the byline. Nicholas Jackson makes a run across the near post. So from that position with defenders around him, he's never going to get a touch and get anything on goal because he's just going to be blocked off. With that, players are standing still. Mudryk at the back post not moving. Enzo on the edge of the box not really moving. We need to be timing the runs. Players need to be getting used to each other's positions when they get inside the box to have that sort of telepathic understanding, which isn't there at the minute because it takes time to build. But players' movement needs to be good. Players need to know when to pull away if someone's going to the byline towards the penalty spot or outside the 6-yard box to try and give an option. And I just thought that was another area we need to talk about. Let me know what you think about anything that I'm saying. If you agree with what I'm saying, if it makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know in the comments section. Another one is just having a shot from outside the box. I mean, how many times have we seen Chelsea do that? Hardly ever. Levi Colwill yesterday broke forward from defence in that second half, got to the edge of the box. He's got players running close to him, so he couldn't really play a ball to his left or Jackson in front of him. And he tried to play a ball square, literally on the edge of the penalty box, to Raheem Sterling. Ben Chilwell, as we know, guilty of it when he got into the box in a previous game where he squared it rather than shoot. But Colwill was outside the penalty box, got to the edge of it and tried to square it to Sterling, who had a player in between him and Colwill. Have a shot, hit it from outside the box. Someone just pop it, give a go from 20, 25 yards. A moment like that can rifle into the corner, the top corner, could change a game. Look at the Villa game. If you've seen the highlights of the Aston Villa game against Crystal Palace, they're a goal down. What happens? They play a ball just outside the penalty box. The dude just chests it down and hits it from outside the box, rifles it into the net. The momentum of the game changes. So we need to see more shots from outside the penalty box for a start. I'm bored of Chelsea trying to walk the ball in the back of the net, which is why I'm saying have a shot from outside the box, because that's what we seem to be doing time and time again. We're trying to look for that perfect goal. Let's just pop it from distance, move the ball wide early, open the space, get numbers inside that box and deliver the right final pass. What it also is at the moment is just people need to be aware that players are learning how each other moves, trying to learn the way that they play the game, that, you know, what they expect when, you know, we've got a ball at their feet and what runs they expect other people to make. That does take time. But another point, just too many touches. Some people have far too many touches. They don't need to. Just release the ball early, give and go, rather than hold on to it, slow everything down. We need to be a lot quicker with what we're doing. And finally, I think it just comes down to the fact that we need to take responsibility. Somebody in that football club, in that football team, or that team on the pitch needs to take responsibility and grab that game by the scruff of the neck and just try and shake it until something happens. Whether it's Conor Gallagher through midfield or Enzo or Jackson up front, we need to do something. Now, I was surprised with the fact that Ben Chilwell was on the bench yesterday, because I think Ben Chilwell on that left-hand side will give us much more attacking threat. Mudryk did well in sort of flits and moments, but drifted out of the game and eventually was getting beat by Aarons to the ball. And I just think that maybe the Chilwell playing at... Do we want to play Chilwell at left back? Do we want to put Colwill next to Thiago Silva? And look, because that's what we're probably going to settle on at the end of the season, with a Chilwell, Silva, Colwill, and then Reece James at right back, with a midfield three of Caicedo, Lavia and Enzo, and then hopefully two wingers with one striker up front. That's what you want to try and aim for. So I just think that at the moment, there's no one really taking responsibility at all, just going through the motions. They need to do that. We need to move the ball quicker in wide areas, early, and we need to shoot from outside the box. And if we can just start doing that, things will change. They will change because we've got the players and the quality to do it. We're just lacking confidence and we're lacking goals. It will come over time with Pochettino and the players continue to work hard every single day. But at the moment right now, football's a results business. The Chelsea fans, the majority of them are not happy with what's happening and the way we're playing. And they're looking at Pochettino in the first 5 games compared to last year and think, even though it's a different squad, the same sort of problems. So give it time to work, but in order to try and grind out these results, this is what I think we need to do straight away, working on training this week until we play our next game at the weekend. And I just think that that will hopefully change the way the games are panning out for us. If you believe in anything that I'm talking about or agree with anything that I'm saying here, then drop a like on the video and post your comments. Just drop a like on the video for me. I really appreciate it if you did. But that's just my take on what I believe the truth is about why we're not clicking at the moment and the reasons why. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, as I say, drop a like on it. Let me know your comments. And while you're there, subscribe and become a subscription to my channel, but hit that bell for notifications. And if you want to become a member and support the channel for £1 a month, hit the join button. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.